Welcome back to Pokemon episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 392, Mean with Envy. The episode begins with Ash and the gang having arrived thanks to Carlos's boat on Pacific Log, on the island. The second that they got there, Ash and the gang went to go chill on the island's beach, but only Brock, Max, and Ash were chilling as they watched May, who decided that it was best that she prepared for her upcoming final Pokemon contest in Pacific Log. Very excited to do so, and motivated by the fact that she had 4 ribbons already, so she only needed 1 more to enter the whole Grand Festival. So as long as she could win this contest, then she could move on to the Grand Festival. And I mean, she had to win it because this was the last contest left. So May decided to send out all her Pokemon to train with them, having each of her Pokemon practice attacks. Bulbasaur uses Petal Dance, Beautyfly uses Silverwind, and Combuskin uses Fire Spin. While Ash, Brock, and Max stand and watch, admiring May's Pokemon, admitting that they seemed really strong and really prepared for the contest. May then tries to command Skitty to use a Blizzard to practice it, but she realizes that Skitty was missing. And we then see Skitty, who was busy admiring another coordinator's Apon nearby, who was currently being fed a Pokeblock by its trainer. Apon wiggles its tail in happiness upon being given the Pokeblock, and Skitty follows suit by wagging its own tail, since it was interested in the Apon and wanted to do the same thing it did. May then picks Skitty up, having found it, and tells it that it needed to start preparing for the contest, and it could play later, after the contest. May then directs her attention all around the beach and sees several coordinators training with their Pokemon for the contest. There was a trainer with a Rhydon, a trainer with a Marill, a trainer with a Azumarill, a trainer with an Espeon, Phanpy, Mightyena, Zigzagoon, Nidoran, Azurill, Shroomish, Roselia, Trapinch, Swablu, Castform, and Steel. Brock then advises May and her Pokemon to give it their best, since the competition at the Grand Festival would be even tougher than the competition at Pacific Log, and Ash agreed with this, saying that the competition for the Pacific Log contest seemed difficult already. Max then asked his sister if she was nervous, to which May denied, which made Max glad, as he claimed that May had no reason to be nervous, since she had to focus on doing the best that she could, saying that so long as she did, she could win, which made May thankful for the support that Max was giving her for once. Brock then suggested that May should get back to training, since not only was the Pacific Log contest coming up very soon, but if she was to make it to the Grand Festival, that was only in a month. May asked all her Pokemon if they were ready to train, and all of them, even Skitty, agreed, and Max asked if May's Pokemon were nervous for the contest, and Combuskin put up its claws gangsterly, Bulbasaur, Skitty, and Beautyfly smiled. All of this to signify that none of the Pokemon were worried whatsoever. They had faith that they could win the contest. As May started to train with her Pokemon, Ash got motivated, saying that if May was going to train for the Pacific Log contest and Grand Festival, then he should get to work training for the Whole League Evergrande Conference. And he decided that the first bit of training he should do was train his Snorunt to perfect its Ice Beam attack, so he excitedly sends out his Snorunt, wanting to teach it, telling it that the Whole League Evergrande Conference wasn't that far away, so the quicker that Snorunt could master the Ice Beam, the better. Snorunt jumped around happily smiling, really wanting to master Ice Beam, so it started to prepare the Ice Beam after jumping to a spot on the beach that he thought was perfect, but Snorunt just held the Ice Beam in place and didn't launch it, leading Ash to question what was wrong with Snorunt. Just then, though, Snorunt then turns to Ash and launches the Ice Beam, freezing Ash's head as Pikachu jumps away so as to not get affected by the Ice Beam himself. Max and Brock saw this and asked Ash if he was alright, and Ash slowly confirms this, talking through the ice since his face had gotten frozen as well. But thankfully, he was able to break free from the ice as Snorunt just jumped around happily, laughing, which Ash took as Snorunt admitting that it didn't feel bad for what it did. It actually found it funny, leading Max to sigh, remarking that Snorunt didn't seem to have a care in the world about anything. Once Ash was fully unthawed from the ice, by shaking his head, he told Snorunt that although it was clear it had mastered the power of Ice Beam, it hadn't figured out how to control it, and they had to keep practicing so Snorunt could figure out how to control it and make the attack perfect. Meanwhile, Team Rocket was using binoculars to spy on Ash, Brock, Max, Pikachu, and Snorunt from some fake bushes that were meant to be just be decoration on the beach, and Jessie was the first one spying, and she then alerted James and Meowth to come up and spy as well, along with Wobbuffet, all in that order, basically saying that she came up with an idea. She thought that now was the perfect time to catch Pikachu, since Ash seemed distracted by trying to train Snorunt, and James, Wobbuffet, and Meowth all agreed, so they covered themselves with the fake bushes, and they moved forward, going unseen. During this time, Ash instructed Snorunt to try its Ice Beam again, as Pikachu was watching intently, hoping Snorunt could pull it off. As Pikachu was just sitting there happily, unbeknownst to it, Team Rocket had snuck closer with the fake grass, now just behind it. Jessie then told James and Meowth to get ready, along with Wobbuffet, as the 4 of them went to go leap out of the fake bushes and capture Pikachu, but just then Snorunt happened to launch its Ice Beam, and it accidentally went in a different direction, aside from straight, meaning that it hit Team Rocket, freezing them solid. Snorunt doesn't stop there, though, as right as Team Rocket fell back behind their fake bushes in ice popsicle form, Snorunt continued to launch the Ice Beam in random directions, shooting it everywhere, causing all the trainers and their Pokemon on the beach to panic and start running away so they didn't get frozen. Ash tried to tell Snorunt to stop doing that shit, but Snorunt just wouldn't listen. It wouldn't stop using Ice Beam. Super fast, many more times. The trainer and their Apon from before, the one that Skitty was interested in, get spooked by the Ice Beam, and the Apon begins to run away towards some bushes, and its trainer chases after it. Skitty, while training with May, took notice of Apom and how wiggly its tail was since it was panicking while it was running, and since Skitty took interest in Apom's wiggly tail, it quickly followed after it. May calls for Skitty to come back, but Skitty doesn't listen, so May chases after Skitty. Eventually, Apom comes out of some bushes and runs across a bridge, turning left at the end of the bridge. While its trainer still gives chase, and a few seconds later, Skitty, still giving chase, makes it to the end of the bridge as well, but it turns right instead of left. While May turns right as well, obviously, because she cared about Skitty, not Apom. Meanwhile, Snowrun was having a lot of fun causing trouble as it continued to run around the beach, sending ice beams everywhere, though Ash finally managed to stop the Snowrun by tackling it and forcibly stopping it from shooting the ice beams. Snowrun didn't acknowledge that it did anything wrong, as it just sits in Ash's arms and giggles to itself, kicking up some sand because it was kicking because it found everything so funny, as Ash just sighs in annoyance. Max and Brock were relieved that Snowrun's rampage was over, with Brock remarking that there was no dull moment with Snowrun around, although Max and Brock wondered if Snowrun would ever learn to use Ice Beam right. Brock and Max then go to ask May what she thought of the whole ordeal. When they look over to where she was standing before, to see only Combuskin, Beautyfly, and Bulbasaur, leading Max to realize that May was gone, and Brock realized this as well. Also pointing out that Skitty had disappeared, and since Brock, Ash, and Max were so occupied by Snowrun, they must not have noticed May and Skitty run away. Speaking of May, she had lost sight of Skitty, but she just nervously walked down a road along the shoreline, hoping that Skitty would turn up, since this was the direction that Skitty went off into, and she was nervous because she was kind of scared that she wouldn't be able to find it. Just then, though, she heard Skitty happily purring and followed the sound of the purring to find it having jumped over a fence right outside a house, and it was amused by a cattail being rocked back and forth. May ran up to Skitty, starting to scold it for running away, only to notice that the cattail was being waved by a teenage boy. Skitty then notices May and rushes into her arms, as May was happy to have it back. The teenage boy then tells May that her Skitty sure was a very lively Pokemon, and May thanks him, taking it as a compliment because Skitty being lively likely meant it was happy, and if it was happy, she was doing a good job training it. May then introduces herself to the boy, and the boy introduces himself as Joshua, a coordinator, leading May to reply that she was a coordinator as well. Just then, a teenage girl walked up some steps that led to the road from the beach with a Pokeball in her hand containing her trusty Pokemon partner that we didn't have revealed to us yet, and she notices May and Joshua sitting in Joshua's front yard, now on chairs, drinking orange juice, talking to each other, and the girl was instantly suspicious and jealous of what was going on, assuming incorrectly that May was Joshua's new girlfriend, and she was upset at this. Anyways, as for May and Joshua, who were sitting in the chairs drinking orange juice, they were talking about the upcoming Pacific Log contest, with Joshua explaining that he was a Pacific Log town resident, obviously, and he decided to enter the contest, and even though he didn't like to brag, he admitted that he was a local favorite, and everyone was kind of rooting for him to win. The girl continued to watch from the distance, practically fuming at this point, as May revealed that she'd be entering the Pacific Log contest as well, hoping to get her 5th final ribbon she needed for the Grand Festival. Joshua then asked May if she was going to use her Skitty in the contest, although May stated that she hadn't decided who she was going to use yet, leading Joshua to comment that May should consider using her Skitty because it was clear they had a really good bond since he'd never seen such a happy Skitty, and also Skitty looked well raised and cute, so it would be perfect for the contest. Joshua was just about to pet Skitty, who was sitting on May's lap, when suddenly the girl couldn't stand just watching anymore, as she immediately angrily ran up to May and Joshua, interrupting the conversation, very angry as she demanded to know what the fuck was going on between Joshua and May. Joshua calls the woman Erica and explains that he was just talking to May, nothing serious was going on. Erica then instantly accuses May of trying to steal Joshua, explaining that she was Joshua's girlfriend, and she angrily glares at her, and after examining May's face, Erica declares that May was no threat to a beautiful girl like herself, and then scolds Joshua, saying that he must be blind if he thought that May was cuter than her. So that meant that Erica had somehow thought that Joshua had called May cute as opposed to Skitty, and Joshua tried to clarify the situation, saying he was calling Skitty cute. But Erica just ignores Joshua and continues to accuse him of cheating, bringing up how Joshua had said he wanted to train separately from her, also revealing that she was a coordinator. And Erica basically thought that Joshua had lied about wanting to train separately just so that he could go off away from her and over to May, who he liked a lot, although Joshua denies this, saying that he just met May and introduces her, telling Erica to calm down. Erica rebuttals, however, that just because they just met, that didn't mean anything, because he and May could just be experiencing love at first sight. May, however, tries to defend Joshua, saying that she shouldn't yell at him, because the entire reason why they were interacting wasn't even because they initially intended to hang out, it was just because her Skitty got lost and happened to come over to Joshua. So May simply came to retrieve it, although Erica stated that May had no business talking to Joshua regardless, and stated that Joshua shouldn't be talking to anyone either, no matter who it was, so long as it wasn't her, since otherwise he should be busy preparing for the contest. Skitty got startled by Erica and jumped off of May's lap, as May questioned why Erica was so bossy around Joshua, leading Erica to explain that her and Joshua had known each other for a really long time, and they were meant for each other. So May had no reason to talk to Joshua at all, and told her to back off, since she and Joshua were going to win the contest together. May was kind of confused by this, as she thought that only one person could win the contest, but Erica claims that sometimes the Pacific Log contest every year made exceptions for her and Joshua, since they shared such a good bond and performed together, so they both ended up getting a ribbon. And they basically split the ribbon. And she had a daydream about her and Joshua winning this year's contest and splitting the ribbon, standing together under the spotlight. And being officially declared as winners and congratulated by all the judges. Erica then added that her and Joshua had trained together since they were children and known each other since they were children, and she was going to win the contest with Joshua this year, and they were going to split the ribbon in half. May was very annoyed with Erica at this point and expressed her doubts that it was even possible to split a ribbon, although Erica just ignored May entirely and told Joshua to come with her to sign up for the Pacific Log contest. Joshua agrees, but he invites May to come as well, explaining to Erica that she was a coordinator too and was planning to enter. Joshua then adds that May was also considering using her Skitty in the contest, even though she hadn't 100% decided yet, so Erica looked at May and then down at Skitty, and smugly remarked that May wouldn't stand a chance against her, especially with such an insignificant Pokemon like Skitty. May was offended by this, and it just made her more motivated to actually use Skitty in the contest. She officially was going to prove Erica wrong that Skitty was insignificant. And not only that, she then challenged Erica to a battle, wanting to settle the score right then and there, advising Skitty to prepare for battle. Although Erica denied the battle challenge, saying that it wouldn't be worth Skitty to put in effort to try and beat her Pokemon, since her Pokemon was far superior, and she also didn't want to even subject her Pokemon to have to battle against a super weak one. And she then tosses the Pokeball that was in her hand from the very beginning to show off her Pokemon that she thought was super strong, a Jinx. Yeah, that's right, I guess it wasn't totally banned from the anime. Anyways, May had no clue what the fuck Jinx even was, and looked it up in her Pokedex to learn more about it. Erica then hugs Jinx tightly, which actually annoys Jinx at first, and Erica declares that her and Jinx were going to win the contest for sure, and Jinx waves to May, greeting her. It seems as though Jinx was nicer than Erica. Just as Erica had revealed that she was using Jinx for the contest, Brock, Ash, Max, Snorunt, Beautyfly, Bulbasaur, Pikachu, and Combuskin, who had been looking for May, found her and asked if she was alright. May confirmed this and stated that she actually ended up meeting two other coordinators who were entering the Pacific Log contest when going after Skitty, and introduced Ash and the gang to Joshua and Erica, and introduced Joshua and Erica to Ash and the gang. Once everyone had been introduced, Erica didn't want to be rude in front of May's friends, so she permitted May to come with her and Joshua to enter the contest. So Ash, Brock, Max, and all the Pokemon came along as well, as they were about to go to the contest hall to register. But right as they were about to leave, a robotic hand came out of nowhere and grabbed Ash's Pikachu off of his shoulder, and another hand then grabbed Snorunt, and both of the hands went into the bottom of Team Rocket's Meowth balloon basket up above in the sky, revealing that Team Rocket had unthawed themselves from the ice and had come to capture Pikachu and Snorunt. Team Rocket then laughs, taunting Ash and the gang as they do their motto while putting Snorunt and Pikachu in cages. Obviously, Erica and Joshua wondered what was going on, as they were confused by the motto, especially Wobbuffet's part, as well as Trimeco's part, and May explained that Team Rocket was simply an evil group that tried to steal Pokemon. Ash then told Pikachu to use Thunderbolt to break himself out of the cage, but Team Rocket just laughs, explaining that the cage was electric-proof, as usual. Ash then demanded that Team Rocket give Pikachu back, but Team Rocket refused, so Ash tried to have Snorunt escape at least, using Ice Beam, but Snorunt couldn't charge up the attack because it hadn't mastered it yet. Which surprised Ash, because 1 minute, Snorunt was shooting Ice Beams everywhere, and the next, it couldn't even launch one. This made Team Rocket laugh even more, taunting Ash, saying how he was pathetic that he had an Ice type that couldn't even pull off a basic Ice type attack. With that, Team Rocket begins to fly off, going high up into the sky, but May takes action, having Beautyfly tackle the Meowth balloon, causing Jesse and James to drop Snorunt and Pikachu's cages, and Ash catches one cage, and Brock catches the other one. After running as fast as they could to get to the fallen cages, Max tried to get one as well, but he wasn't fast enough. Anyways, Team Rocket was immensely mad that the cages were gone, especially Jesse, who threw a tantrum and demanded that the cages be returned, and James and Meowth agreed. Ash and the gang obviously refused though, and May had Combuskin use Sky Uppercut to smash the balloon, causing the remains of the balloon to fall to the beach below, causing a huge burst of sand to rise up. With Team Rocket gone, Ash and Brock found some rocks on the beach, and while Max watched, Ash and Brock tried to break open the cages and free Snorunt and Pikachu by bashing the cage locks with the rocks, but while they were doing this, the sand that bursted up cleared from the Meowth balloon, and Jesse and James and Meowth emerged from their wrecked balloon, coming out and demanding a battle to get the cages back. May and her Pokemon step up, and May declares that a battle against Team Rocket would be good practice for her upcoming contest battles, assuming she would make it to that round. With that, Jesse sends out Seviper, and James sends out Cacnea, although of course Cacnea hugs him first, and Seviper then uses Haze to block May's vision, so that she couldn't fight back, which worried Joshua. Cacnea then got off of James, so Cacnea was able to use Needle Arm as per ordered by James, and Seviper went in for a bite as well, both Pokemon heading for May. May attempted to order one of her Pokemon to do something, but she couldn't, because she couldn't even see any of them through all the smoke. However, Joshua then came to May's rescue as he sent out his Houndoom and had to use Swift, which was able to break through the haze and strike Cacnea and Seviper before they could reach May, damaging Cacnea and Seviper as a result. The haze then fully cleared, and May wondered what the fuck was going on when she noticed Joshua and his Houndoom, who offered to help her finish off Team Rocket, and May thanked Joshua for the help, including how she had just been saved from Cacnea and Seviper. Erica looked at this with pure anger, thinking that May was trying to flirt with Joshua or some shit, or the other way around. Anyways, Seviper then uses Poison Tail, and Cacnea uses Pin Missile, but Houndoom uses a Flamethrower to destroy both attacks and stop the Poison Tail entirely. May then has Bulbasaur use Petal Dance, which knocks Cacnea and Seviper back towards Team Rocket, knocking them down to the ground as well, surprising Team Rocket. Joshua and May then complement each other's Pokemon and their attacks, which makes Erica even angrier, because she just saw it as mutual floating between the two. Cacnea and Seviper then recover, and Seviper goes to use Bite, and Cacnea goes to use Needle Arm. However, Skitty then uses Assist, which connects to May's Combustion, which means that Skitty uses Fire Spin. And then, to help out, as Max got excited about seeing Skitty use Fire Spin, Joshua had his Houndoom use a Shadow Ball right in the middle of the Fire Spin to power it up. So it was basically a combination of Shadow Ball and Fire Spin, and it hits Seviper and Cacnea hard, knocking them back into Team Rocket a second time, making Jesse and James angry, and Meowth especially angry at the fact that Jesse and James couldn't do jack shit. Erica was angry as well, seeing how Joshua and May were making combination attacks, even though she was the only one who could do that with Joshua, because they were partners. Meanwhile, while Max still just stood by and watched, Ash and Rock managed to use the rocks to break the locks on the cages and free Snorunt and Pikachu. May then orders Skitty to finish Team Rocket off by using an assist of some kind, but Erica got immensely jealous at Joshua and May still working together and pushed May aside so that she could be the one to finish Team Rocket off and impress Joshua by ordering Jinx to use Hyper Beam, which blasted Team Rocket off. While Team Rocket was blasting off with Cacnea, Seviper, and Chimecho, James told Meowth that he should have battled as well to assist them for once, and this gave Jesse a great idea as Team Rocket fully blasted off. As Ash and Gang, Erica, Joshua, and all the Pokemon watched, May and Erica then started to argue, with May telling Erica how fucking angry she was for Erica pushing her away, leading Erica to fight back that May had a lot to learn for relying on an assist attack when the assist was so unreliable. May tries to defend herself, but Erica just cuts her off and says that her and Joshua made a much better team than Joshua and May, and tells May to just go the fuck away at this point. Joshua then steps in between Erica and May, trying to calm them down, and tells them that if they kept arguing, then they would miss the deadline to register for the contest, and suggested that they settle any beef they had in the contest. Erica acknowledged that Joshua was right, and declared to May that they would settle their argument in the contest during a contest battle, and May agreed, promising to battle Erica. Meanwhile, Team Rocket happened to land from their blast-off just outside of the contest hall as the fireworks shot up over the contest hall to signify that registration was almost complete, and participants were still lining up, getting ready to complete their registration. Team Rocket had entered the contest hall, with Jessie planning to register, as she revealed her plan to Meowth, the idea that she had thought of when they blasted off. Basically, she was going to enter the contest with Meowth as her Pokemon. Meowth was shocked by this, and asked Jessie if she was being for real, and Jessie assured Meowth that she was, with Jessie claiming Meowth understands human language, and should be able to win, suggesting that she may try using his ability to speak human language to amaze the judges. Meowth refused, though, saying that it was degrading for him to enter a contest as a Pokemon when he behaved more like a human. But just then, though, Meowth saw a rich-looking coordinator lady with a Persian enter the contest hall. And he heard the lady coordinator explain that Persian would be the perfect competitor for the contest, and complimented it immensely. And then, the lady and the Persian walked by Meowth, and the Persian taunted Meowth, smiling evilly as it walked by. Meowth got angry at this, and got even angrier as he remembered Giovanni's Persian mocking him too, specifically remembering Persian sticking its eye out and tongue out at him while he sat proudly by Giovanni. And basically, it just triggered his absolute hatred for every Persian in existence, and he hated Persian so much that he genuinely emitted flames from his body, and stated that he wouldn't let a Persian upstage him ever again. So, with that, he was going to enter the contest to prove that he was better than a Persian at least, making Jessie happy that Meowth finally agreed to enter. And Jessie officially announced to Meowth that their pseudonym this time was going to be the Jester. It was now time for the contest to begin, as all the contenders had registered, including May, Joshua, Jessie as the Jester, and Erica as well. And we then see the inside of the contest arena, while Vivian greeted the audience, and the audience cheered, including Max and Brock, who were in the audience to cheer for May. As for Ash, he was watching Vivian introduce the contest from a video screen on the beach just outside the contest hall, as he was going to watch from outside while continuing to train his Snorunt. So he sent his Snorunt out and told it that they were going to watch May compete in the contest and practice Snorunt's Ice Beam at the same time. Anyways, back inside the contest hall, Vivian introduced the audience to the same three judges, Raul Contesta, Mr. Tsukizo, and the local Nurse Joy, in this case, the Pacific Nurse Joy. And then she introduced the first competitor, welcoming her to the stage, which turned out to be Jessie, of course, introduced as her pseudonym, Jester, along with Meowth. And Vivian officially announced that the appeals round was about to begin, as Jessie, disguised as the Jester, and Meowth took the stage. And their entrance was pretty grand, because she didn't just walk onto the stage, no. She came down from a platform that descended down from the ceiling, while surrounded by smoke, which was being spouted from a machine that James was operating from above her. And Brock and Max were shocked to see a Meowth beside Jessie, not knowing that it was Team Rocket's, as Jessie was disguised in a yellow parka and long brown hat. Jessie then introduces herself to the crowd as they cheer, and James activates a switch that was also part of the smoke activating mechanism, which caused a large block of ice to descend down onto the platform that Jessie and Meowth were standing on, being dropped down by some wires. Meowth then began the performance by using Fury Spikes to cut the ice into a sculpture of Giovanni sitting with Persian. Vivian and the audience started to cheer immensely, while Max thought that it was amazing too, although Brock was a bit distracted seeing the ice sculpture, saying that he thinks that he's seen that face in the sculpture someplace before, because he's seen Giovanni in the first Pokemon movie, which I haven't done a summary for yet. I'm doing the movies once I finish every episode, so it'll be a long time until I get to the movies. But yeah, that's the context behind that. Meowth then finishes off his appeals round by using Fury Swipes on the Persian sculpture rapidly to turn it into a Meowth one, to symbolize how Meowth was overtaking Persian. The crowd cheered at this as Jessie and Meowth waved at them, and their video footage was being displayed to the waiting room, which the other coordinators and their Pokemon were watching, with May and Erica beside each other. While all the other coordinators talked to each other about how cool the performance was, even the trainer who had that Apom that ran away, who had since returned, May and Erica couldn't focus on the performance because they couldn't even look at each other. They were too focused on looking away from each other and showing their disdain for one another, which made Joshua uncomfortable as he laughed nervously. Thankfully, Vivian called him up as the second competitor as Meowth and Jessie went off the stage, so he didn't have to stay in the awkwardness for much longer. Meanwhile, back outside the contest hall, Ash was still training with Snorunt, with Pikachu observing, and unfortunately, Snorunt was still having trouble using the attack. It couldn't even launch it. But Ash encouraged it to try again, and due to Ash's encouragement, it was able to launch the attack for real, and it was very powerful, but he didn't have control over where the attack went, as it almost froze Ash and Pikachu, forcing them to duck in order to dodge the bad aim. Ash simply told Snorunt they had to practice some more, and promised that he would help him practice, and Snorunt jumped about happily, really wanting to please Ash by getting its Ice Beam right, and it also just wanted to please itself more than anything as well. Just then, though, Ash looked on the screen that showed the performances, and Ash saw Joshua on the screen, as he was now performing with his Houndoom, as his Houndoom used a Shadow Ball and Swift combination. Starting off with a Shadow Ball, and then adding a Swift to it, and the audience was immensely impressed, along with Vivian. May, watching on a screen in the waiting room, was impressed as well, commenting that Joshua did amazing, and Erica wasn't in there to hear this, as she had been called up next, since Joshua had finished his performance, and Erica immediately sent out her Jinx, and her performance involved a combination of Blizzard and Psychic, as she launched a Blizzard and then used Psychic to turn it into a beautiful snowy vortex, very much impressing the audience, since they were essentially being rained upon by very soft bits of ice and snow. Max and Brock were amazed by this as well, admitting that May had some tough competition. Speaking of May, it was now her time for her performance, as she had Skitty use Assist, and the Assist happened to activate a Razor Leaf, surprising May, as that's definitely not what she expected, since she was used to fire or flying attacks. And Max saw how surprised May was, and wondered if she would be able to come up with a good strategy utilizing a Razor Leaf, a move that she didn't expect. Thankfully, she did, as May had Skitty use Blizzard to freeze the leaves, and then she used Skitty's Double Slap to chop up the icy leaves, causing shards of ice rain to fall down on the contest field, impressing the judges and Vivian, as well as the audience, who thought the performance was beautiful. Joshua thought the performance was beautiful as well, as he clapped for it from the waiting room where he was sitting beside Erica, and as you probably expected, Erica angrily glared at Joshua, causing him to stop clapping and laugh, trying to lighten the situation so Erica didn't get too angry. Eventually, the appeals round ended, as all the coordinators congratulated their Pokemon, and everyone awaited their results. Ash decided to come inside to the contest hall, inside the waiting room, to congratulate May on doing so well. And Ash congratulates Skitty as well, as Max and Brock come in, and Max and Brock congratulated May and Skitty, and Max stated that he had no doubts that May would pass to the second round, the contest battles. Just then, though, Erica and Joshua came in, and Erica admitted that May didn't do too bad, and stated that she hoped she would go to the second round as well, so she could battle May, and therefore end May's winning streak, confident that Skitty could not compete with anyone else in the top four, especially her Jinx. May gets angry at Erica's comments, and tells her that her Skitty definitely had a chance, because it was in perfect shape, and it says that they would just see what happens, but she was going to try her best not to lose. Erica just continues to argue with May, calling her weak compared to her, and May says the same thing about Erica, and they just get into your usual fucking argument, leading Joshua to stand in the middle of them and attempt to break the argument up and calm them down. But he didn't need to, as everyone's attention was then brought to the video screen in the waiting room, as Vivian appeared on it to announce the coordinators that made it to the battle rounds, the top four. And the profiles then started showing up on screen of these four contenders as Vivian introduced each of them. Also, there was an image shown of the purple ribbon that the winner of the contest would win, alongside the four profiles. But anyways, even though we didn't see how many points each of the contenders had gotten, we do see that Joshua was the first one announced, and both May and Erica cheer for him, which in turn makes both of them glare at each other. Because, Erica was mad at May for cheering for Joshua, and May, seeing Erica mad, got mad. Anyways, the second competitor announced was Jessie, otherwise known as Jester, and Team Rocket in the waiting room cheered at this. Erica was announced next, and she happily hugs Joshua, who nervously congratulates her, nervous because he didn't want to upset May at the same time. There was only one spot left, and everyone was nervous, especially May, because she feared that maybe she didn't even make it in. But knowing that the Grand Festival and her entry in it depended on the next announcement, May held her breath and hoped for the best, when after a long wait, Vivian officially announced that May would be the fourth contender, moving on to the battle rounds. Everyone, aside from Erica, cheered, because Erica was obviously bitchy about this, but everyone else was happy. And then the four profiles were shuffled, and the two matchups of the top four were announced, much to everyone's shock, as May would be facing Joshua, while Erica would be facing Jessie. Erica commented that it appeared as though her and May's conflict would only be settled once May beat Joshua, and May agreed, although Erica then glared at May, declaring that there'd be no way May could beat Joshua, which meant that her dream of being a winner with Joshua, since she still believed that they could both win, would be much easier, since Joshua could just beat May. And that meant that so long as Erica beat Jessie, then they could both make it to the finals and win. May then told Joshua that even though the two of them were friends, she would defeat him because she really wanted to make it to the grand festival. Although May, deep down, had some concerns that she would really be able to beat Joshua, especially after remembering his performance with his Houndoom using Shadow Ball and Swift combined. But she simply just held her steady and tried to gather as much hope as she could.